Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Oh my gosh, we are back together again. I am super excited to be on here. I look forward to coming on and speaking to all of you out there in the world that comes on and watches. Whether you're watching now or watching on replay, I'm so happy that you take the time on your lunch break, because I know you could be doing anything else, running to the store or being on the phone or talking to your spouse or your children, that you're here with us on our W.I.N series. This series stands for Women in Network Marketing. My name is Jatasha Harris, and I will be your host, aka the Mommy Juggler. Some of you know me as. I will be your host today on this afternoon, as we will be presenting our special guest today. But before we get started, let us know where you are chiming in from. I want to hear where people are chiming in from. Let me know. That way I can properly greet you. Let us know where you're chiming in from. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started, because we have a great speaker today. And she has a lot of good information and nuggets. She's such an inspiration. She's a blessing, has been a blessing to so many people, but also have been a blessing to me in my life. So I'm extremely excited and grateful for you all to meet her and hear a little bit more, right, about her story, because we're going to go a little deep today. We're going to go some places where some people probably have never heard, or they may know, but not only, don't know some other parts. So we're going to go into all of that. So let's go ahead and get started. But I see Wendell, North Carolina on. Welcome, Wendell. Thank you. That's Angela from Wendell, North Carolina. Thank you for tuning in. So as I said, my name is Jatasha Harris, aka the Mommy Juggler. I am the founder and CEO of my women's empowerment company called the Mommy Juggler. And that name simply came from me being a mom of three who was juggling, moved from New York to North Carolina, and didn't have any family or friends here in the area. So being an employee and also being a business owner at the time, I had to take my children wherever I had to go. My husband, he was a detective with the police department, and his schedule was crazy. So we really didn't have, opportunity to drop our children off anywhere in the early parts of when we were down here, until we started, to meet people. So my kids were with me. So every time people see me at events, meetings, my children was right there. And that's where the name, came from. But since then, that turned into an empowerment company where we're able to empower women, inspire them all over who are juggling life, not necessarily being a mom, but just juggling life. You may be a grandma, you may be an auntie, you may be a teacher, that's still juggling. And so that's the purpose of this, is to show you how to live and not just exist, to help you to have more time, freedom. And then now we added on helping you to have financial freedom. So this is what Women in Network Marketing is about. These group of women that you're going to hear from every first and third Wednesday. I'm going to share with you, where they came from, their background, how they were employees, they were traditional business owners, and then they decided to incorporate network marketing into the fold. And then you'll hear the reasons why. And then hopefully that'll inspire you to know that this profession is not scary. Right? This profession is not one that you need to run away from people when they come knocking at your door, but how it can be such a blessing if you just take the time out to listen. So my background, as I said, it's corporate America. I did all those things my parents told me to do, and went to school, got the education and good job. And then basically about 7.5 years ago, I decided to walk away and leave all of that on the table. And it was a lead-in from the Lord for me. And my husband and everybody thought I was crazy, but I said, nope, I'm going to follow through what the Lord is asking me to do. And didn't know all what was going to come with it, but I just trusted and I stepped out on faith. Well, things didn't go in the direction I thought they were going to go in. They actually went the opposite way. We were in a very tough place financially. Our marriage was going through, we were going through in that area, our children, our parenting, all of that, because we were depleted. And literally depleting everything because I decided to listen to the Lord. Well, 2.5 years ago, a gentleman reached out to me about this industry of network marketing. And it was one of the best things and blessings that he could have done. And it changed everything for us. And now I was able to fully retire my husband because of this industry. And he no longer is a detective with the police department. He's still an officer, but no longer a detective. And so that is what this industry afforded us to do. That's just my story. There's so many others, and we've been able to have more time to bless and to sow into other people's lives. We've been able to, help people on so many different avenues, right? We've been able to spend more time traveling and showing the children areas that they learn about in textbooks. We've been able to purchase things like luxury vehicles and pay off a lot of debt, just so much stuff that we've been able to do because of this industry and because we were not afraid to take that listen when that person called us. So again, that's my story, but now you're going to hear this young lady's story. She happens to be my business partner, but also my friend. She was actually my coach, one of my first coaches that I had when I moved to the area here in North Carolina. She was a blessing to me because she came into my life in that financial time, that time where I was in that financial hardship. And I could not afford to pay for her services, but she still extended that grace and love to me and allowed me to pay her later. And she poured into me and she helped me in one of the hardest and shameful times that I was in. And I'm forever, ever grateful to her and indebted to her. And her family is just truly a blessing. And she continues to inspire me. And I love her so much. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up my business partner, my friend. Actually, you know what I am going to do? I have her bio. So I'm going to read that and then she'll elaborate a little bit more on that. I'm sorry. Let me pull that up. That way I can properly introduce her and you can hear all of what she's accomplished. So my friend, my business partner, Dr. Saundra Wall Williams. Dr. Saundra is the Chief Executive Officer of W.I.N Corporation, a professional development consultant and training company that supports emerging and established women leaders to increase their influence, impact, and income. And Dr. Saundra specializes in leadership, mentorship, and coaching. She's the founder of the Vision Building Institute. Dr. Williams is an author, speaker, strategist, minister, coach, and mentor. She is respected authority on leadership development. She retired from her full-time job as a senior vice president of the North Carolina Community College System and turned her passion for women in leadership into prosperous enterprise. Dr. Williams is an adjunct research professor in the Department of Educational Leadership, Policy, and Human Development at North Carolina State University, where her teaching focus is technology and leadership. Dr. Saundra is an executive area director with her current network marketing company. And Dr. Williams is married to Mr. Dennis Williams, and they celebrate 30 years of marriage and have one son, Bradley. Dr. Williams knows that the word of God for the calling on her life and ministry comes from Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, network marketing, social media, wherever you're tuning in from, please all welcome Dr. Saundra Wall Williams.
Hey,
welcome, Dr. Saundra. We're so happy to have you here.
It's so great to be here. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Oh my gosh, the comments are blowing up over here. People are like, hey! Oh man, this is such an honor. I tell you, I'm just so filled, and I feel already the tears welling. So I'm going to stop before I get there. I got goosebumps because I would have never known, Dr. Saundra, when we connected and met all those years ago, that here we would be together, friends, business partners on platforms like this, empowering and impacting so many people across the world. And in that time when we met, I wasn't even in this type of position to do anything like this. I was one of those that needed all the impacting and blessings, and you did that and you offered that. So again, I say it to you all the time, and thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's get into it because people, they came, they on their lunch break, they ready to hear, and they want to eat some more. They're eating, but they get ready to eat some more. So I just shared your profession, what you've done in your profession as a professional in your traditional space and your, being an employee and all of that good stuff. But let's start from the beginning. Sometimes people talk about, right now, but let's start from the beginning because I know there's a lot of women and men out there who like, I want to raise a Dr. Saundra. I want my kids to be like Dr. Saundra. What ingredients did her parents pour into her? So if you can let us know and tell us a little bit about who Dr. Saundra is who was growing up as a child.
Sure.
High school.
So again, thank you so much, Natasha. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. I am so excited. Many people always ask me, where I grew up and what I did and what did my parents pour into me. And I'll tell you, I am from a small town in North Carolina called Rockingham, North Carolina, which is in Richmond County. Now, specifically, I always give a shout out to my community. I am specifically from an area in Richmond County called Little Philly. Now, you have to be from Rockingham to know what Little Philly is, but it comes from Little Philadelphia, and we call it Little Philly. And so that's where I grew up. I mean, my family is there. My dad is there. My mother passed away earlier this year, but my dad is still there. So I go back and forth home, all the time. Little Philly, Raleigh is my home, but Little Philly is my home, where I know I can always go. And so I grew up in Little Philly, went to high school in Richmond County, and had a pretty good, childhood in terms of what my dad and my mom poured into me. My dad was very adamant about getting an education, primarily because he had to stop at 8th grade because of, it had to help, his dad and everything. So he had to stop at 8th grade. My mom did graduate from high school, but she didn't go on after that. So, getting an education was something that I had no choice. I had to do it. And although they didn't have the educational background, my mom and dad taught me about hard work. And so working hard, that sort of thing. When I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to help others because I taught my dad how to do fractions one day. And when I taught him how to do fractions, he was able to change jobs, get a job with the railroad. And if you're from that area, the railroad is one of the highest paying employers other than doctors and lawyers in Richmond County. And so he was able to get a job with the railroad. And I saw how learning something could change your life forever. And when I taught my dad that, it's changed our life with that new job he got. And so at that point, I just knew I loved teaching and learning.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful story. My goodness, you being I'm guessing fractions is what grade do they teach fractions? Fourth grade? Fifth grade. Okay. Mm-hmm. So fifth grader, here you are, that's about 10 years old. Mm-hmm. You taught your dad, you sewed into your dad, who then was able to switch jobs to make your guys' family even better. What a blessing. Typically it's the reverse. Mm-hmm. But look how that worked out. So awesome. All right. So that happened. You completed high school. And then what happened from high school? How did you, decide college or leaving your family to go off to college? What was that like for you?
Well, let me go back to one specific high school incident that tells you how I got my major in college. So I majored in math at NC State. Go Pack. I'm a Pack girl. So go NC State, go Pack. And so I had a teacher in high schools. Actually, we back then we called it senior math. Today they probably call it calculus or higher level math or whatever it is. But anyway, but my senior math teacher, she said, because you're from Little Philly, you will never amount to anything. Now that's what she told me. And my thing was, well, you know what? I'm making good grades. I mean, I'm an A student. I'm a, honor student. What are you talking about? And so she said that to me, but I went home and I told my daddy what she said. And my daddy said, you never pay any attention to people that don't know you and don't know what you're capable of. Never pay attention to them. And I remember that. I learned that. I still tell that to my son, and other people that are around me. So because of that, I decided to major in math because she told me she said I wouldn't be anything. So I said, I just do what you do and come back and take your job. I didn't do that. I didn't go into high school teaching, but I did go to NC State. I did major in mathematics. I had a wonderful experience at NC State, freshman through senior, went back to graduate school. Many people don't know this, but I always tell young women, as you're in school, about relationships. I was in an abusive relationship in college. And, I don't talk about it much because it's not the platform most of the time, but I was in an abusive relationship. But at the same time, that relationship taught me the kinds of relationship that I know I wanted afterwards, And so, but I did graduate from NC State, didn't really know what I wanted to do, didn't know where I wanted to work, that sort of thing. So what I decided to do was go to graduate school. So I went to graduate school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. got my master's again at NC State. And then from there, I went on to business and industry and started working.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You just said a whole lot. And you just said more. Those are like many messages and sermons that we can pick out of what you just said. Because first off, that teacher had no right. And we have to be careful as, you know, even if we're not teachers, how we speak, right, to young girls and boys, because that can stick and really change a person's life. Thank God you allow that to be the fuel to put up underneath your feet and use that as a stepping stone to show her, let me show you something. Right. And that you had the strong foundation of your parents, regardless that they didn't have the education and, you know, that your dad didn't finish high school and all of that stuff. He still knew enough to say, don't you dare allow anybody to tell you otherwise. And so good for you. And then you talked about the abuse, you know, with your person, the gentleman in college. Again, that could have, you know, taken you down a whole different path. But clearly you were strong enough to get through that, get past that, and allow that to be another stepping stone for you. So perseverance is definitely all up in your blood, but I'm sure that came absolutely from your daddy. But where's that guy at so we could go find him and knock him in this joke?
It's interesting. It's interesting because I am from Little Philly, you know. And you've been down there, you know, you've visited, you've been down there before. So, you know, I tell people, and I jokingly tell people, but I'm totally serious, you know, don't mess with me. You know, my face, you know, I've got cousins and things that are still down there that, you know, but in all seriousness, you know, when you're in that kind of relationship, those kind of things can tear you down, you know, and some of the things that, you know, this gentleman said to me, some of the things that he did, you know, that sort of thing. And, but I just took it and said, you know what, let me release myself from you. And that was hard. You know, let me release myself from you so I can do what I know. And I wasn't into I was a church girl, but I wasn't that much of a church girl at that point, you know, so let me go do what I know I need to do. You know, let me go do what I need. I was so glad when we graduated, he went his way. I stayed at NC State. So I was able to then just be able to take my life the direction that I wanted it to go at that point.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we definitely have to do, or I'm sure you can do another series, because this is going to open up a conversation, because there's so many people right now that's dealing with abuse currently in their relationships, and, you know, their marriages and all of that. And they want to know, how did you walk away? But we don't have time for all of that. But what did you do to get strong? I heard you say y'all both left, you know, y'all went each way, and maybe that was the saving grace, or was there something that you told yourself daily to get out? Some people are still hiding, you know, so that's another thing. So Dr. Saundra, you just created another sure avenue to help, because that really is, I talk to so many people who are in that space already, and any help would be amazing. So let's move on. So you finished grad school, and then what happened? How'd you get your first job? How did that start for you, your career?
Well, my first job, I started as an intern. I had an internship with a company that was called Northern Telecom. If you're from the area, you may have heard of it, but if you're not, it's been gone quite a while. I interviewed an intern with Northern Telecom. So I always tell college students, get an internship. You know, if you're going to if you're going to go to college, you know, also work, but get an internship, because then you're in the door of a company. So I got an internship with Northern Telecom, and I interned with them for the summer, and they hired me back when I graduated. So that was a blessing. So I worked with them for a number of years, and then I went to another job. Actually, Northern Telecom just didn't keep up with the time and technology, so they kind of had to close, and I saw that coming. And so I went to another job, had several jobs, but then I actually had a job where I got the opportunity to teach all of the things I had been engineering. And that's when I got into training and development. That's when I really saw, remember, I loved teaching and learning already as a child, but that's why I really saw how I could do it in the corporate space. So there are so many avenues that are open to you once you actually start getting to a job and getting in a job. And that's why I always tell people, don't stay doing the same thing over and over with the company. If there are different things that you can do within a company, then do it. Get another job or find something else you can do. It makes you more marketable, and you'll eventually find out what you love doing. So while I was there, I went ahead, I went from engineering to training and development. And then again, going back to my dad always told us that whatever you're doing, you get the highest education you can get. And so I was in training and development. I had a master's in mathematics. So I took a class again at NC State, go Pack. I took a class at NC State on training and development. And then I realized, oh, wow, this is cool. So then I decided to get my doctorate. And that's how the whole doctorate came about, because, again, listen to my dad, get that degree, get what you need. And so I got my doctorate there while I was working. And that is possible. People say, well, I can't work and go to school. Yes, you can. You just got to pace yourself and do whatever it is that you need to do. And so I did that. I worked, and then I was working for Northern Telecom, other companies I worked for. And then I literally had a life or death experience. My husband and I were pregnant with twins, and we had a third baby that was ectopic, and a whole lot of medical things happened. Bottom line is I almost died. And so once I had that experience, I realized life was short. And so I did what I always wanted to do, and that was to become a professor. And that was probably the best move I could have ever made, because that opened my eyes to so many different things and possibilities. And so I became a professor again at NC State. And so, like I said, NC State has been really good to me. I love NC State. And so did that there. And then I got the opportunity, actually, the president then at the community college system saw me doing some presentation. I don't know what it was. And then he offered me the job as vice president for community colleges. And that's how I moved from NC State to community colleges. I still keep my faculty appointment at NC State, so I can go back and teach whenever I can and that sort of thing. But that's how I got into community colleges, and that's what I retired from.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we need like the big book for you to write. Like, for real. Man, I'm learning, I haven't known you that long, but I'm learning more and more stuff as you share. And again, you have books, you have seminars, you have workshops, you have so much that from what you already just shared to help so many different people. You are truly a warrior, and you have persevered through a lot of stuff. I mean, you said a lot of good things and great things, but you talked about something so precious and delicate, which is you almost lost your life.
Yes.
Giving life to 3 children. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. But God saw it wasn't fit, that it was your time for you to come on home. You had other children, us here, all of us, yep. Even though we're not your biological children, but to be able to teach and to help get through, because clearly you didn't, but you had to go through it first.
Yes.
So that way you can speak to the experience to help other people come through. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you for that. Yes. Oh my gosh. So, okay. So and I love what you said, go through companies and within the company, make yourself marketable, because you never know who's watching. Clearly somebody saw you and grabbed you and said, hey, and now look, open up more opportunities and doors for you. Mm-hmm. So now you've been in the professional space, you're doing your thing, you've been working, and I think you said, I'm ready to retire. Is that what happened? How did that happen?
Well, I went to, and this is where I think you and I connected, because I went to a workshop in Atlanta while I was still working. And I always tell people, if you're going to start a business, don't wait till you're not working. Let the job help you with the business you want to start. But that's a whole different story. So let me back it up. So I went to a workshop in Atlanta, and the workshop was called Speak for Pay. Who the young lady who was doing it at the time, her name was Marshawn Evans. Now she's Marshawn Evans Daniels. She's married. And so the Speak for Pay workshop, I was speaking, but I wasn't getting paid. And so then I decided, let me go to this workshop. Let me hear what she's talking about. It was 3 days. I invested in myself. I had never invested in myself at that level before, other than college tuition, right? And so I learned so much. And then I decided, I want to do this full time at some point. I didn't know how, didn't know when, didn't know what, but I just kept learning and kept growing and everything. And then it got to a point where we were getting ready to get another president at the community college system. And I called my daddy, as I always call my daddy. And so I said, I want to leave, I want to leave. And so he said, well, talk to Dennis. He said, but if it's time to go, it's time to go. And I said, yes, sir. So I talked to my husband, and my husband told me, he said, well, when we get to a certain point in dollar wise, then you can go. I said, okay. So I said, just let me know when we get to that point. And he said, you can retire. And then I said, well, I don't have 30 years yet, Dennis, so I won't be able to get my retirement to leave work. And then he said something that, Jatash, I know that you're familiar with. He said that retirement is about money, not time. He said, you can retire at 25 if you have enough money. It's not about money. It's not about time. It's about money. And so my husband and I got completely debt free, and he did all the work. People look at me and think I didn't do anything, but it's what my husband said to do in terms of our finances. And so we got completely debt free. And I was able to come off that job now and start my own company, which is my personal and professional development company that I have today. And keep in mind, though, I actually started the work while I was working. I did the right things. I put in all the paperwork. State government requires that you do certain things. And I did all of that to make sure that, want to do things in decency and in order. And so then I just started a professional development company. I had a few coaching clients here and there. Jatasha was one of them, had a few coaching clients. But I had a plan as to what I wanted to do after the fact, And one of the things that, is that I found out in taking many classes is this whole concept of residual income, income coming in, whether I'm working or not. And so, and that wasn't happening while I was working. That was even working for myself. That wasn't happening at that time. So that's one of the things I said, let me learn more about that particular concept.
Oh, makes sense. You did that so perfectly, and you're absolutely right. Retirement has nothing to do with that at all. Retirement has to do with making sure that you got your stuff set up straight so you can go ahead and walk off as you did. And like you said, yep, as I did, even though I didn't have stuff straight. I don't advise anybody to walk off the way I did. Because, well, let me say this: if the Lord led you to do so,
right,
and it was something different, it was not more. I wasn't afraid, and I know I'm one of those people that I'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. But it's not always that way. And I've heard other people say that too. I needed that push because there was so much stuff in me that needed to be unlearned. So that was my journey. But everybody else, yes, as she said, make sure you have your ducks lined up and everything is, straight so you can go ahead and use that job to fund your vision as she did. So that's awesome. Okay. And your husband was 100% supported. And we would be remiss if we don't mention Bradley. Oh my gosh. We see Bradley. Bradley, I hope you're not watching until now. We're talking about you now. So
that's my baby.
Yes, your baby who's in college going into his second year now, sophomore, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so we heard you say, the 3 biological children that you birthed didn't make it here, but Bradley made it. And so tell us how Bradley came about and bring us up to speed with him before we move on.
Well, he is a sophomore. He plays basketball at his college. And so we're so excited for him, and even in that, I say God always gives you exactly what you need when you need it. I was kind of getting a little disappointed because all my friends that I went to college with, they were having babies, and because of what happened to me, I physically could not have children. We tried so many different things. I mean, just so many different things, and none of it worked. And like I say, we lost the triplets, and then I got pregnant again with 4 because, of course, I was an infertility patient. At that point, got pregnant again, miscarried all 4 of those. And so I was just, I'm just tired of this. And so God brought Bradley into our lives, and people see him and they say he looks just like my brother. If you've ever seen my brother, then they do. Bradley seems not to think so, but everybody else thinks that they favor. So, but he is the joy of our lives. He is he's a grown man now and everything in college, and just so thankful. Dennis and I love being Bradley's mom and dad.
That is beautiful. That is so, man. Yes, that is just so wonderful. And he is so blessed to have you. I hope he knows how blessed he is to have you all as parents. Y'all are just his cheerleaders. I know you could be busy, have all the meetings in the world, but don't let Bradley have a basketball game.
I'm going.
She's going. It's over. Everything canceled. She's going to support her Bradley, and that's how it should be. Awesome. I love it. All right. So now you're rocking and rolling. You got your professional, company going. Dennis is supporting you 100%. He's still working. You're doing your thing. And then well, let me not say me, because I know you've been in the industry of network marketing. You've tried things, you supported other people. Talk to us about how you first got introduced to network marketing.
Okay, so I first got introduced to network marketing probably like a lot of other people did. And there was a huge multi-level network marketing that was out there. And with the network marketing, it was Washington. I don't want to call the name of the company because they're all good. I just got to find the one that fits you. And, but it just didn't, that one just didn't fit me. Even though there were household things and were things that we used, I didn't use them often enough. Because at that time, it was just me and Dennis. And so I didn't use it often enough. So we did that network marketing. We did like the phone company, the telecommunications, and those things did not fit. So we finally found a network marketing company that fit us. A network marketing company that, number one, had the format was teaching and learning. And that was huge for me. Teaching and learning, that is the focus. A network marketing company that doesn't push you, you don't call people on the phone every week. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Kind of thing. Because if I saw your name too many times, I wasn't gonna answer, kind of thing. And then I was also, I did essential oils, because I'm in ministry. I was thinking, well, maybe I can get the essential oils to kind of connect, but none of that stuff worked. But when we found the one that worked, and that's why I say, and this is something that I say all the time. And that is every business owner, whether you're a business owner, whether you are working for yourself or whether you're working for someone else, you should have a network marketing aspect to your business or to your your income, whatever your income is. Have that network marketing, because network marketing allows you to have that residual income. I have a team, the company that I'm with, I'm a certain level and I have a great team. And, I have my husband and I have residual income coming in, and it is absolutely wonderful. And people ask me, well, they'll say to me, I don't have the time, Dr. Saundra, you full time, what you do? I work full time. Well, I work full time too. I just don't do the same thing that you do, kind of thing. But with network marketing, you and the kind of that one that has as its undergirding, teaching and learning and making sure that you get the information and have a great support system. The network marketing company that I work with now has a phenomenal support system. It is just, I couldn't imagine doing. Let me give you an example. My mother got sick in August of 2020, right during the pandemic. She got sick. And so I literally had to stop everything. And just like you said with my son, I do the same thing with my parents and my husband, right? So I had to stop everything. I dropped everything, went to Moore County, stayed with her, and that's when she was in the hospital. And I was literally her caretaker from then up until the time she passed away. And then right before she passed away again, I was in the hospital with her the entire time. But what I saw was that because I had the income coming in from network marketing, that income never stopped. It literally never, ever stopped. And even though I was away from my company, my professional development company, even though I was away from that, and I couldn't, if I wasn't in it, I couldn't make money, which made me make some changes there too, of course. But what I found was that the network marketing kept going. So I am a proponent to say that two things. Number one, that never say that you're too busy to do network marketing. Because if you get the right company, you got to get the one that fits you best. If you get the right network marketing company, then yes, you can, because it's what you believe in. When we talk about what we do now, it's what Dennis and I believe in. And so it's easy to talk about. It's not, something that's hard for us to talk about. That's number one. And then make sure that whatever you do, whether it's network marketing or whatever it is, make sure it has a great support system. Because like I said, when my mom got sick and I had to just drop everything and go, and I was even back and forth during COVID, that system helped me to continue to even bring in new people, that sort of thing. So that's why I say have a network marketing as a part of your, I guess you would call it your business strategy. My husband and I went to a workshop. Man, Bradley wasn't born, so it had to be over 20 something years ago. And the gentleman told us that you should always have 5 streams of revenue coming into your house. Your job can be one, and if you're both working, that's 2, but you should have 3 others coming into your house. And so I'm excited that, that network marketing is one of the ones that's coming into our home. And it comes in significantly. I'm not talking about $2 checks. I mean, I've been in things where I worked so hard, did so many presentations, and got a $2 check in the mail. I'm like, oh my God, but no, I'm talking about significant income coming in. But again, you've got to find the network marketing that is right for you. So, I'm a proponent of network marketing. I think that everybody should have network marketing as a line of business because it does give you that residual income. And even with all I do, it's part of what I do. It's part of what I do. And my husband, we work it actually together. Sort of like you and your husband.
Oh my gosh. Once again, you just said so many good things that I can just pick apart. But I'm not just due for sake of time, but I do want to say a few things. One, again, our condolences to you and your family, your mom. I know how precious and special she, is and was to you all. And the fact that you had the freedom, the time freedom to go, and the financial freedom that you set up in advance to go and stop and do those things, for her and be there for her. And I know you did that alongside of your dad and your siblings, but still that, most people cannot do that. They don't have the time at work to walk away that way. And if they do, they'll have to maybe take time without pay and all of that stuff. So that was awesome that you built your business first, your traditional business. Your husband had things, y'all put things in place, and then you were able to do that. But the other part that I love what you said was when you have to stop, no money comes in when you're working a job or even a traditional business, right? You have to be the person that's hands-on with the business. And so having that residual income coming in, is a blessing. And the fact that you have a support system, you have leverage, that's a big word in this industry, leverage other people's time, leverage your team, leverage your success leaders, leverage, your company's videos and things like that to still continue to send. Everybody can send a text message out, right? Everybody can invite people to a call. Even if you're not able to be on the call, your business does not have to stop. And so that's the blessing that, somebody is calling me on my, sorry. I'm like, how did that happen? But they're calling me on my computer, on my messenger. And so that is just amazing. And you're right. I heard you say it numerous times. The income that you're making is paying bills. It's paying big things. It's not paying no little, like you said, $2. Somebody is really, I don't know who is calling my phone. Really trying to, paying some little tiny, little tiny subscription magazine. No, that's not the kind of money you're getting from this at all. And so that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that and really emphasizing it, because that's truly, truly, truly important. Now, what would you say to somebody like yourself who, are doing some amazing things and all of that? And I know I've heard you say numerous times, you set yourself up financially. You didn't have, any, a whole lot of debt and all of that stuff. So you didn't think that this would, be for you. Why would you say this is, and this would be for a person who says, I don't really have no debt. I don't really have, things that I need to do this extra business for. Why would you say it's important to, as you already said, do network marketing, but go ahead and look at this stream to do what for others and possibly for your family?
Well, part of that is because of our why. I mean, when my husband and I got debt free, we really wanted to be able to help other people. And there were some things that we just couldn't do, but we wanted to have a mechanism where we could help other people. And so the multi-level marketing or the network marketing that we're in today allows us to not just have income coming in for ourselves, but it also allows us to help and educate other people. And that's what's important. So, for us, we already had the debt free. We even owned our house. I mean, I tell everybody, my husband had me doing my own perms for I don't know how long. because he was like, no, we're going to take that $65 and we're going to put it over here on the house and we're going to get this debt paid down. And the only thing I kept doing was my nails. And now with COVID, I stopped getting those done. I'm like, do I really need to get my nails done? That's just me. I ain't talking about y'all, but that's just me. Right. But, but we cut back so very much. And even today, we still live in our starter home, because what's important to us is to be able to go and to do, like when my son goes play basketball, and if he's playing basketball in Ohio, we want to be able to have plane fare. We don't want to have to be struggling trying to figure out, how are we going to get to Ohio? We don't want to have to do that. So that's just an example. So, and at the same time, we want to be able to help other people. And so when you have a mechanism or a tool that can help other people, you may think, well, I don't need this. You may say, I don't need. We already have the 800 credit score. We were already there. So, you may say, well, I don't need it, but who else needs it that you know? And that's what really got us to go from just sitting in that room, because we actually saw the information about the one that we work with. We actually saw that information prior to COVID. So we were actually in a room. So that's what made us go from just sitting to taking action. And there has to be something in your life that will get you to go and regardless of what it is, to get you from just hearing information to hearing it and then taking action on it. And since we've done that, we've seen people's lives change. We've seen people be able to bring in, who didn't even know what residual income was, to now being able to bring it in and helping them, And so, when you have it as it's not about you, because if it's about you, you will say, well, yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. But who around you needs what it is that you just saw? And the other thing is, you might say, well, I'll just let them go under somebody else. No, they trust you. They trust you. Some people came into the network marketing because of me and Dennis. I mean, I've had people tell me, Dennis said yes. Oh, well, Dennis said yes. It's not about Saundra. They know Saundra. Dennis said it was okay. Oh, let me check it out. And because they trust you, then they're more willing to look at it. Versus they know me or know you, Jatash, or something like that. So, look at what it is how you can help somebody else. And sometimes it's not all about you and what you have and what you're already there. And keep in mind, you haven't always been there. That's what I tell people a lot too. We haven't always had a 800 or above credit score. Now we can walk in anywhere and we can negotiate. We can but we don't even do that anymore. We leave that to somebody else, but we can walk in now and we can negotiate how much we're going to pay for a car and then because why? Because we're going to pay cash for it because we got 800 plus credit score. But even if you don't have that, even if you say, well, Dr. Saundra, I'm not there yet. Well, you know what? You can get there when you have the right tools, the right community, all right, and the right information that you're getting to get there. And that's what, in terms of I can leave people with anything, I call them the 3 I's. You got to have the right influencers around you. That's people pouring into your life, having good people pouring into your life. You got to have the right information. You got to get information that will further you. Okay. And then you've got to have the right income. What that means is you got to do more than just work a job every day. You've got to do more than just work a job every day, but do what you love. And then you'll be able not only to help yourself, but to help other people as well. But let me stop because, I can go on and on about it. I can take a text on that one, and go to preaching on that one.
I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it because you are dropping some bomb nuggets today and people are picking them up. I know if nobody's picking them up, I'm picking them up because I'm always in a position. You should always be, as you heard Dr. Saundra say, be in a position to learn, to take in more and more and more. You just never know, right? And one of the things that I've been hearing a lot lately, which is so true, is if you don't pay attention. And so do not be afraid to invest in yourself. You heard Dr. Saundra say she started investing in herself outside of college tuition, right? Speaking of which, Dr. Saundra, you just invested in some things where you were able to publish a book. You were on a speaking platform with Dr. Les Brown and Dr. Cheryl Wood and so many others. So this is not, you talked about Marshawn, you invested with her. So you've been investing. And so you're paying. So, and I know Dennis made sure you were paying attention. We're gonna pay for this. We're gonna pay attention.
You go pay attention.
And it's paying off. You
Mhm.
know, you pay attention, and now it's paying off. Oh, I like that. 3 P's.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. So one other thing, and then we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay.
Because you talked about so many different components, but one of the other things that people may use as an excuse, which should not be an excuse, is, oh, well, my spouse doesn't, support me. My spouse doesn't see it, or talk about it, because Dennis wasn't always, 100% for this industry in that way, but he became 100% as he started to see something happen for you. So tell us how that happened.
So, first of all, even before I got into the, network marketing and doing that kind of stuff, one of the things that I found is that when you don't believe in yourself, then don't expect your spouse to believe in yourself. When you don't believe in what you do, then don't expect your spouse to believe in what you do. Sometimes, I like the way Joyce Meyer says it. Sometimes you got to do it afraid. Sometimes you got to walk up. Now you got to be in agreement. I'm not telling you to step out and do something that your husband's totally against. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying that if you want to start a business, or you want to start a ministry, or write a book, or whatever it is, and then, we'll say, well, my husband doesn't support me. That's because he hasn't seen you do anything with it. Okay, so do something, take some action, let him see how important it is to you. And that's how Dennis was. I mean, because Dennis is the money person. I mean, he balances our checkbook down to the penny. I'm the one that rounds off. If it was $3.59, it was $4, and he can't stand that, because my stuff is always messed up. And so, because I always have money at the end of the year, he's like, where does this money come from? Because I rounded everything up all year long, but in the end, I want you to understand, when it comes to your spouse, believe in yourself. And then you start taking action on what it is that you want to do. Small actions that you're in agreement, that you and your husband are in agreement with, okay? And then begin to move forward. Like Jatasha says, Dennis wasn't 100% when we first started this. He's just like, go ahead. And to be frank with you, I really felt, I told Jatasha, I feel like I'm out here by myself. I already got my company, and now I'm trying to do this by myself too, and everything. But then Dennis started to see, number one, he started to see me and money coming into the bank. Okay. He started to see that. Okay. Then he started to see other people, how, the Lord was blessing other people through this business, people he's known, and everything, how God was blessing other people through what we were doing. And then he said, you know what, I better get in this. Let me learn it. Let me learn it. Let me grow with it. And I'll never forget the day he said to me, he said, Saundra, you know what? Because my picture was on everything, literally on everything. And I never forget the day he said, Saundra, you know what? Let's call Jonathan. Let's get us some couple pictures made so I can put my pictures on that stuff with you. And I was like, because then, but again, had I not done something, had I just said, well, you know what, I can't do this right now. My husband doesn't support me. And to be frank with you, when people tell me that, and I'll just say to them, you got to have agreements in your household, because you've got to live. And from my perspective, I don't know how other people believe, but from my perspective, you have to live biblically. You have to live biblically. And, and I'm one of those women. This is a different conversation for a different time, but I believe in the husband being the head of your house. As he follows God, I'm going to follow him. And I have no problem with being Dennis's wife. So, you have to do what is right for your house. And if your husband is like, go ahead, but then you don't do, but then you say he doesn't support you, just start doing it. Just start doing a little bit at a time, bringing him on a little bit at a time. Now Dennis handles all the finances for everything we do. He's the one that goes to meet with the CPA. He's the one that does all of that kind of work. But had I not stepped out and said, okay, it's hard. It was hard on me, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it, then he wouldn't have come in. So men will, husbands, I want to say men, husbands will support you, but you have to show that this is what you want to do. You've got to put some skin in the game. As wives, we have to put some skin in the game first as well.
Woo! Okay, I hear marriage retreat. I hear. I'm just saying. I got your whole schedule for the year that we could plan. events. What are we in July? I got you
Right.
booked for August. I can book you for September. Y'all better book her now because she about to get busy. They got to grab her up. I'm telling you. But no, yes, that is so, and I love it. I love it. I love it. And everything that she's saying is true because I've seen her. I've seen Dennis. I heard the conversations. I've seen Dennis in the background. I've seen him just walk by and wave. To now he's sitting in the camera with her in the background listening. He's at the events. He's driving her to the events. And so it's true. That's exactly what typically happens for those who are, spouse. Don't look at us now who have our spouses with us thinking that they were always there because they were not. Fred, my husband, one of them as well. He always gave his blessing. And that's what she said. We got to be in agreement because if Fred didn't give his blessing for me even walking away from my job before I even started really in the industry, then it wouldn't have worked. So he said, yes, I'll give my blessing, but he was not on board. It was like, you better do something with this thing because he was not too happy. But he gave his blessing. That's all I needed. That little piece right there. And like she said, you get to work and they'll come on board. Trust me. The minute they see those deposits, they'll be like, oh, you get a deposit daily? How often do these deposits come in? And so, yes, I agree with you. Everything you just said, 100%. Man, we can go on and on, but it's already 1:21. We're definitely going to do this again and some updates and all of that stuff. But I'm excited. And these conversations that we have are not just, us. These things are happening to us. There's so many people who are winning in, the network marketing space because they decide to add on this component. When you get into network marketing, you're not just get into a business. But like Dr. Saundra says, and I say it, we see it, you're joining a family. Yes. And so you find the one that works for you. You find, the product or service that you're using that works for you and you work that thing. And I'm telling you, we did some facts the other day in one of our sessions and to see what this profession can do. This profession is bigger than the NFL. This profession is bigger than the NBA. It's bigger than the music industry. But it's the profession that has paid out the most amount of millionaires, but it's the one that a lot of people don't really make it far in because they don't want to do the work. And so you do the work up front, it's going to pay you off, i.e. what you hear Dr. Saundra just shared, me being able to retire my husband with this industry in just 2.5 years of being with our current company. So those are just some of the things, whatever you want to do, you can do that and then some with it. But most importantly, have time and financial freedom and then help other people do the same thing as well so they can begin to live and not just exist. Dr. Saundra, this has been amazing.
It was amazing. It's so much fun.
This was so much fun. I feel so much more closer and connected to you, although I already was feeling closer connected, but I feel even more. And I think the rest of the world is too, so much closer and connected to you. And thank you for contributing to the network marketing industry profession. Because this was not just about you, your company, me, or my company. This is about the industry that we serve and the men and women who are looking for something to give themselves their time and their freedom back. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everyone, oh my gosh, the comments, people are amen. And people are saying, see somebody else here, Ursula says, absolutely amazing session. People are saying, wow, teach Dr. Saundra. Oh my goodness, people are just blowing this thing up. People are saying, great afternoon. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for both of us for just spending this time with us. We know we're a little bit longer, but trust me, and I'm sure everybody else can say, this thing was good. This was necessary. What she shared, whoo, you can't get this on regular TV. This not, you gotta get this on regular TV. But again, thank you, Dr. Saundra. Any last closing words that you want to say or share before we wrap it up?
Well, yeah, I'll just share, as you are doing whatever it is that God has said for you to do, and I say this to women all the time. One of the things that was spoken to me when my mother passed away, you know how it is, you're tired, you just don't feel like, especially when you're in ministry, and I'm in ministry and have my own business, you just don't really want to do things and everything. You've got to get yourself mentally back to that point. So the one thing that was said to me, and I say this over and over and over all the time now, is you've got to move. You've got to make a decision, and then you've got to run with that decision. You must move. And the one thing that the young lady said to me, she was ministering to me And she said to me, Dr. Saundra, you don't have to move fast, but you've got to move. And that will stick with me from now on, is that you don't have, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's your career, your calling, if it's your business and your business is network marketing, or you want to add that, whatever it is, you don't have to move fast, but you've got to move. So get in position, move, get connected with people who are doing what it is that you want to be able to do. Have no more excuses. One of my favorite people, as a matter of fact, she's gone to be with the Lord too. Her services are actually this week. Pastor Cassandra Elliott. She would always say, make no excuses. Okay, we're living in a day and a time now, ladies, where, and gentlemen, who's ever watching it, don't make any excuses. Just do what it is that you must do. And remember, you don't have to move fast, but you've got to move. Thank you, Jatasha.
Thank you. Thank you. You heard it. She gave y'all the marching orders. She gave y'all the marching orders. So you can find Dr. Saundra on her website. I'm going to let you tell your website so they can find you and follow you.
So my website is under construction, but if you go there, you can get on my email list where we can literally conversate doing via email, and that is drsaundraspeaks.com, drsaundraspeaks.com. You can find me all things Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn under Saundra Wall Williams.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, thank you, Dr. Saundra. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you and for you taking this time out of your day and schedule to pour, because these comments are, they're full. People are saying they are so full, everything for what you've done for us. So again, thank you. All right, everyone. So that is our segment for today. Oh my goodness, so amazing. I see people are saying we need a part 2. So it's coming. We'll definitely do a part 2 so you can see what she's doing and into now. She's just been doing so many things. Writing books and partnering with, like I said, Dr. Les Brown and Cheryl Wood and so many others that are out there doing some amazing things in their space as well. We do this every first and third Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern. So I'm excited for the next few weeks when we bring up our next guest. So definitely follow me on my page so that way you can keep abreast on what's going on. You can also go and click on the events tab so that way you can see all the upcoming events that we have like this and others. Thank you again so much. God bless all of you. Have an amazing day. And like I always say, we'll see everyone over the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Jatasha Harris, the Mommy Juggler. I am signing off and signing out. Have a great day. Bye-bye.